Ragnar Lothbrok is a legendary figure from Norse mythology and Viking sagas. He is a semi-legendary Norse hero and warrior who is said to have lived during the Viking Age, which spanned roughly from the late 8th century to the 11th century. Ragnar grew up in a time when the winds of adventure and conquest swept across the lands. From an early age, he exhibited an insatiable thirst for exploration and a burning desire for glory. As a young boy, he would listen intently to the tales of brave warriors and seafarers, their exploits reaching his ears like whispers from distant shores. Guided by his dreams, Ragnar honed his skills as a warrior. He trained tirelessly, developing his strength, agility, and the art of combat. But he knew that true greatness could only be achieved through daring deeds on the open sea. With a crew of loyal companions, Ragnar set sail on his fabled ship, the Long Serpent. Its dragon-headed prow cut through the waves, a majestic sight that struck fear into the hearts of those who beheld it. Together, they embarked on a journey that would forge his legend. Their first destination was the fabled land of England, a realm ripe for plunder. Ragnar's tactical brilliance and unwavering resolve proved formidable as his raids became the stuff of legend. The tales of his victories spread like wildfire, and his name became whispered in awe and fear throughout the land. But Ragnar's ambitions knew no bounds. He set his sights on a prize that would cement his place in history: the city of Paris. With a massive fleet at his command, he descended upon the city's shores like a tempest unleashed. The Parisians, caught off guard by the Viking onslaught, trembled in fear. Amidst the chaos, Ragnar displayed the qualities that defined him as a leader. Courageous and strategic, he led his warriors with unwavering determination, inspiring them to push forward. The city's defenses were tested, but Ragnar's indomitable spirit prevailed. In the end, he emerged victorious, the city's treasures falling into his hands. Ragnar Lothbrok became famous primarily due to his legendary exploits as a Viking warrior and chieftain. The sagas and myths surrounding him depict him as a skilled and cunning leader, renowned for his naval prowess and military victories. Legends tell us that Ragnar, son of King Sigurd Hring, had 3 wives, the third of whom was Aslaug, who bore him sons Ivar the Boneless, Bjorn Ironside, and Sigurd Snake in the Eye, all 3 of whom would grow greater in stature and fame than he. Thus, Ragnar was said to have set sail for England with only 2 ships in tow in order to conquer the land. It was here that Ragnar was overwhelmed by the forces of King Aella and was thrown into a pit of snakes, where he foretold the arrival of the great heathen army of 865 AD, with his famous quote, "How the little piglets would grunt if they knew how the old boar suffers."
There are many more adventures in this saga, which concludes with Ragnar's interesting oath that he will conquer England with just 2 ships. He sails to England with just these 2 ships, but of course he is defeated by the English army, he is captured, and he is thrown into a snake pit where he is killed by venomous snakes, but not before uttering his famous last words, "Genidia mundu grisir ev galtar hag visi." How the piglets would squeal if they knew the old boar's condition. These words are brought to his sons, who do in fact squeal, conquering England and killing the king of the English, according to the saga, Ella, who is a historical king of Northumbria in England, by committing the blood eagle on him. The blood eagle is a horrible torture in which a man's ribs are pulled out through his back one by one.
Indeed, in 865 AD, Britain was subjected to the largest ever Viking invasion at the time, led by Ivar the Boneless, whose remains now lie in a mass grave in Repton, which would precipitate the beginning of Danelaw. The great heathen army is said to have been led by the sons of Ragnar Lothbrok to wreak revenge against King Aella of Northumbria, who had previously executed Ragnar by casting him into a pit full of venomous snakes. Among the organizers were at least some of the brothers: Ivar the Boneless, Ubba Halfdan, Bjorn Ironside, Hvitserk, and Sigurd Snake in the Eye, all of whom are known as historical figures, save the slightly more dubious Hvitserk. Ivar the Boneless was the leader of the great heathen army from 865 to 870, but he disappears from English historical accounts after 870. The Anglo-Saxon chronicler Ethelweard records Ivar's death as 870. Halfdan Ragnarsson became the leader of the great heathen army in about 870, and he led it in an invasion of Wessex. A great number of Viking warriors arrived from Scandinavia as part of the Great Summer Army, led by King Bagsek of Denmark, bolstering the ranks of Halfdan's army. Ragnar Lothbrok's character and exploits became intertwined with Norse mythology and sagas. His story is included in important sagas such as the Saga of Ragnar Lothbrok and Gesta Danorum. As a result, his tales were passed down through generations, adding to his legendary status. In recent years, Ragnar Lothbrok's fame has expanded further due to popular culture portrayals. The television series Vikings, which aired from 2013 to 2020, depicted Ragnar Lothbrok as the central character and showcased his adventures. This portrayal introduced the character to a wider audience and contributed to his modern-day fame.
Ah yes, Ragnar Lothbrok. We've heard that name before.
Hail, O Ragnar!
Your reputation goes ahead of you, Ragnar Lothbrok. It is my privilege and pleasure to clap eyes on you.
His fame eclipses even yours.
And his vanity will kill him.
It's important to note that while Ragnar Lothbrok's fame has endured throughout history, the historical accuracy of his existence and his deeds is still a subject of scholarly debate.